podcast upcoming Todd Group exported course to our hub country of Thailand. As a result of running at capacity schedules and receiving many inquiries and questions in regard to the upcoming May Thailand course and other courses, I will answer as many questions in this podcast as possible. I will begin with the online application process, as this is most important. We want to recruit those that are dedicated and serious about their upskilling in our European military, self-defense and military close quarters combat for responsible civilian enthusiasts. We conduct small group specialist, HQ, Camp Todd and exported course of instruction, and as such there are only limited positions available, and it is very important that any applicant is committed to attending and will fulfill all the mandatory requirements of course joining. Todd Group application and course joining instructions are strict and to the point. If you apply, are accepted for course joining and do not fulfill the requirements and attend the course, you will not be accepted for any future course you may apply for or any HQ, Camp Todd or depot training. It is vital that applicants read all course joining information and instructions and take care of all requirements immediately. No one should ever apply if they do not have the available time or leave, and if they do not have the available course funds, airfares and any other required funds for travel or training expenses. Our exported courses of instruction are small groups to ensure maximum training time and instructor attention is received by all attending international exponents. To be able to export small group specialist courses, we need to attract those that are willing, committed, and will front up and participate, not the procrastinators or tire kickers. And as such, our courses and training joining instructions must be strict and to the point. The post-COVID era in relation to available flights and airfares is another consideration that requires confirmed attendees on courses as far out as possible. It is really a balancing act in relation to availability and financially in regard to getting the most suitable flights and best airfares for instructing cadre and attending exponents. As soon as accepted attendees have completed their application declaration, course fee payment, made flights reservations, and have taken care of any required uniform and kit, the following will take effect. Attention to detail in the reading of the full and final course joining instructions that include important information in regard to airport arrivals and transfers to the group stay accommodation and personal kit requirements for on-course and in downtime. From the moment course attendees arrive at Suvarnabhumi Airport in Bangkok to attend one of our Thailand exported courses, everything is taken care of for them prior to their arrival. There will be a driver there awaiting for them when they leave the arrivals hall to transfer them to the group stay accommodation. The intention is always that the instructing cadre and our in-country Indigenous asset course facilitators and coordinators will take care of all attending exponents and proponents' arrival and departure needs and everything in between. With attending exponents with different dietary needs and also with different requirements, a part of the course is user pay as you go in relation to meals and transport, and this has proven to be user-friendly, work well, and something that attendees favour. Attendees enjoy the environment with no distractions or disruptions, being so far away from home and being able to focus on their training and enjoying downtime with fellow exponents, proponents and instructors, taking in the culture and cuisine of Thailand. We have access to multiple specific training facilities in different parts of Thailand, but for most Phase 1 basic courses of instruction, they will be conducted at our own standalone site in Chonburi. Our footprint in Thailand has increased and changed over the decades of being training providers here, and we have all the equipment and facilities required to conduct everything from basic through advanced to specialist training, including specialist close personal protection training and training exercises. All Todd Group trainees and instructors attending Thailand conducted courses must complete a CQC Code of Conduct contract and abide by all rules and regulations with a respect for the chain of command and fellow exponents and proponents, as well as facilitators, coordinators, guests, and everyone involved with their course of instruction. They are responsible for maintaining our reputation in the Kingdom of Thailand. Individuals wanting to train in military, CQC and MSD as a civilian must understand the importance of exemplary behaviour and fitting attitudes, as there are procedures to deal with character faults and breaches of codes of conduct that are terminal and could see them removed from the course of instruction. Everyone on course must know their position on the food chain and conduct themselves in regard to their CQC codes of conduct in a responsible manner and in relation to the required integrity and respect of themselves, their fellow exponents and proponents, instructors, and everyone else they come into contact with as part of a Todd Group course of instruction. Todd Group instructing cadre, course managers, coordinators, facilitators, and all our Indigenous Assets Thailand staff are there to make our attending exponents and proponents stay in Thailand memorable and as easy as possible, including assisting them with shopping requirements and outside of training tourist activities. The aim of these intensive course of instruction is to allow our serious civilian enthusiasts to live military close quarters combat and military self-defense the military way, and this can be a shock to them with the heat of Thailand, but with the courses being volunteer courses and everyone in attendance able to participate in regard to their levels of physical capability and mental toughness, training achievements through the duration and increased intensity with increases in competency and capability are enhanced by considerable. At the Todd Group standalone CQC training site, the shelter and shade canopy is much appreciated, along with the ice-chilled water and lunches. Everything is put on to enable the attendees to be able to focus on their training and taking care of their hydration in the pursuit of achievement of increased skills, competency and capabilities without any home distractions or external distractions. Intensive week-long courses of instruction allow for not only the learning of new skill sets, but also drilling the skill sets and critiquing and making the skills work for the individual exponents. There is also the time and availability to practice these skill sets under sudden aggressive shock actions, battle handling exercises, and in different environments and terrain, including Amphib, CQC and MSD in the warm seawater of Thailand. The exported courses to Thailand are very good for identifying strengths, traits and weaknesses of attendees, and it certainly identifies if they can be team players or not, or if they are self-centered and cannot conduct themselves as part of a selfless and willing team striving for CQC excellence. It also identifies their willingness to take orders and accept instructions, doing their very best to achieve objectives or not. As the old saying goes, you find out what people are really like when you travel with them or spend extended time away in their company. These intensive exported or Camp Todd Group HQ courses have a logical order of instruction, and everything begins with the most effective means of threat neutralization and moves its way through secondary, alternative or emergency options in various situations up against various threats, providing best means under the situation and conditions to effectively neutralize the threat. The logical order of instruction for CQC unarmed combat or unarmed military self-defense begins with unarmed defensive assault, as unarmed defensive assault is the best means of effectively neutralizing a threat by getting in first and getting the job done. The most effective form of unarmed defensive assault is stamp kicking, as your leg is longer than your arm and your boot is far more resilient than a bare foot or fist. Then the training syllabus moves on to close range unarmed defensive assault, using striking combinations to overwhelm the enemy with entry strikes, and when they are vulnerable, finish them off with finishing strikes or stamp kick. For civilian training, the order of instruction also is in relation to necessity. For example, what they are most likely to face in an urban action zone, giving them the best tools to deal with the most likely threats they will face. As a general rule, prevention is always instructed over counteractions. So in the case of being grabbed, held, seized and secured, prevention of this threat would be instructed prior to MIL, self-defense and CQC holds and grabs, escapes, threat neutralization. This would be followed by urban street weapon, non-ballistic weapons, that is, disarming skills, not defending against weapons, always the modus operandi of disarm, disable, dispose of the threat. short, edged or bludgeon type weapons, followed by long, edged or bludgeon type weapons under incoming entry threats, then both edged and bludgeon type weapons under ambush threat disarming. The Brain to Boot, MIL Self-Defense and CQC Mental Toughness Enhancement package is instructed from day one to increase confidence and competency outcomes through being mentally tough and uncompromising in the pursuit of threat neutralization. Skills to command drills start early on in the exponent's training to ensure they know the skills by title and by execution. Skills to command drills are a very important part of increasing competency and capability. Toughener and sickener training is introduced to prepare the combatants for the realities of close quarters contact, inoculating them against the effects of close quarters contact by providing controlled aggressive commensurate capability degrees of contact and increasing it gradually as confidence and competency is achieved. One of the most important aspects of exported and Camp Todd or Todd Group HQ intensive week-long plus courses of instruction is the ability to introduce different ways of training in skills under different conditions to achieve increased capability and the ability to fast map assess under threat and make effective, safe threat neutralization decisions. With the courses being small group courses, it's as close as individual tuition as it gets in MIL, CQC and MSD, and individual exponents will get as close as it gets to individual tuition training on a small group course, and this may include critiquing or suggesting and providing tactics and skills that better fit with their physical and mental makeup. Attendees, both at training and in their downtime, bond and friendships are forged. Many attendees on our exported courses to Thailand have been travelling and training there over the last 2 decades and continue to return simply to experience the benefits of training and the camaraderie and friendship bonds they make on intensive courses of instruction. After a hard day's training, attendees tend to stick together and experience the Thai cuisine and talk about their day's training, including asking questions of their instructors and enjoying the company of others of the same interests that share the same willingness to strive for CQC and MSD excellence. On such courses, individuals are identified that often go on to achieve high rank and status, and those that return regularly to such courses do so not only for the training experience, but to put something back in of what they have received from their instructors over their decades of training. They are selfless types, willing to do their best by new entry exponents and those that are preparing to test and prove themselves. There is no substitute for intensive week-long or longer courses of instruction if you want to be the best exponent you can be. Attendees quickly find out this is not about traditional or sporting arts or codes respectively. This is about skills for saving yourself under extreme violence threats when you are the underdog up against an overdog that has bad intentions and wants to do you grievous bodily harm. There are no rules and there are no safeguards or officials. This is when you are defending the most important title you'll ever defend, that being saving yourself from serious injury or worse. This is the type of reason or reasons that people join up for intakes at Todd Group HQ and attend exported intensive courses of instruction or HQ and Camp Todd courses of instruction, because they want to learn skills that are used and proven on the battlefield, and they want to be taught by a qualified high-level master instructor of such skills. While it's not for everyone, it certainly is for the practical realist looking for best of battle proven self-defense and close quarters combat methods of being capable of defeating even a violent aggressive overdog by best of foul and dirty tricks brigade means of stopping a violent assaulter in their track. It is not only the tactics and skills that are important, but the means by which they are instructed, the delivery means, the setting up and establishing of training fields for sudden aggressive shock surprise actions on to provide the individual exponent with skills to overcome the effects of fear and stress and make real-time decisions that could be life-saving in a real actions on. While there is nothing in unarmed fighting or close quarters combat that guarantees you will be the victor over the victim, attendees, being practical realists, understand that skills that are used by the military, including the military elite, to defeat formidable enemy foes on the battlefield give them a high chance of being able to overcome adversity and do what needs to be done to neutralize a violent assaulter. They know the difference between traditional, competitive, and battlefield combat, and this is why they seek and make the decision to attend intensive week-long course of instruction like the upcoming May 1-week course at our Thailand training site. Attendees come from all walks of life: professionals, tradespersons, labourers, students, the unemployed, but they all share in that practical realist mindset of seeking military self-defence and close quarter combat skills to make themselves as safe and capable as they possibly can be in a real life threat actions on. Often those that applied for those very reasons end up becoming long-term and even lifelong enthusiasts and practitioners of our European MIL, CQC and MSD for responsible citizens. We welcome those that are responsible, of integrity, and are willing to do their very best to upskill on our intensive course of instruction, and anyone that wants to experience what a Thailand course of instruction is like is invited to apply from toddgroup.com and experience what real MIL, CQC and MSD is really like. As a friend of mine that was an ex-elite forces soldier would say, if you really want to know what it's like, sign on the dotted line, step up and front up and find out the only way that matters, hands-on, under an intensive course of instruction. And if you prove yourself as being able to take on board the specialist instruction and be able to make fast mapping, effective threat neutralization decisions and initiate and employ them with competency and confidence, then volunteer for Phase 1 basic testing. Passing Phase 1 basic testing and being accepted for Phase 2 advanced training is where you start to really prove yourself and develop as an exponent, leading to volunteering for Phase 2 advanced testing, passing and being accepted for Phase 3 specialist training. And the only way to undergo advanced or specialist training is by passing a basic Phase 1 test, which is challenging and demanding, but totally achievable if you have the desire, willingness, and are mentally strong and prepared to prove yourself under our effective testing regime. Passing your Phase 1 testing not only proves yourself, but also ensures you achieve respect for your willingness and achievement of competency and capability. We have trained tens of thousands of entry-level enabling exponents over more than 9 decades, some that have never trained before and others that have limited or extensive training in traditional self-defense styles, and the general consensus is they have never seen anything like our European military, armed and unarmed combat and military self-defense skill sets, methods of training, and the testing is the most realistic they have ever experienced. Anyone wanting to train the military CQC way on an intensive course of instruction under a military elite certified close quarters combat and military self-defense instructor, you are welcome to apply, and if accepted, course join and find out for yourself what your limitations and capabilities really are and upskill in our most current and proven CQC and MSD tradecraft skill sets. In our world and tradecraft, there is no substitute for best of battle proven current primary practices of threat neutralization. Attendees experience training from the oldest global private specialist training provider of our European military, armed and unarmed combat and military self-defense, and can become members of this close specialist training group organization, moving up through the ranks, achieving capability, including becoming an instructor. The Todd Group is not a franchise, and all depot instructors keep all earnings from their instructing duties. They must, however, abide by the responsibilities of being an instructor of our military close combat and military self-defense training to responsible civilian citizens. This is training with a purpose, and that purpose being winning, not merely surviving under violent threat. Those interested in joining us on the May 2025 intensive course of instruction exported to Thailand are welcome to apply or contact us with any questions. Contact details can be found at toddgroup.com.